You guys, this is awesome. I'm up here with my buddy Joe, and we are on the tower. And this is such a special bird's eye view. Yesterday, when we were up here for the first time watching the national anthem, it was so special.
Yep.
And now you're up here with us, and it's great.
That's right. I actually try not to come up here too often during the show because once you get this image seared into your brain and you come back after the show and see it empty, it is hard to take. But this is, I mean, we don't let too many people up here, and you can understand why, but this is really the best way to see what's out there.
This is incredible. And Joe, you're such a special person to this event because you started as a little kid, as I said this morning when I was with Larry, picking up trash, like being a volunteer, just like these, I mean, I assume thousands of volunteers here.
Absolutely. Yep.
Making it all happen. You used to be one of those, and now you're in the position you are,
Yep.
making it happen, and that's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I don't have to make anything up. I mean, I can tell you very sincerely what a special event this is, and it's the people that bring it together. So I tell people I'm 35. This is my 30th show, and that's no BS. I started when I was 5, along with all of my classmates and T-ball teammates. After the show, we would all pick up garbage in rows with our parents and coaches, and it gives you a vision of what this event really is behind the scenes. And growing up, you know, if you're from this area, you're either here for 3 days working or you're out of town camping because you don't want to deal with it, and there's not too much in between. But I've helped work with vendors, I've worked in food stands, I've done a lot of different things, but I'm really just very blessed to be in this position with this team around me, able to do this, because for me it's a dream, but really in this position, the team plans all year to be ready to serve the volunteers and the workers who are in turn serving the crowds, and that's part of the magic and the fiber of the show.
And so many of these people that come every year, this is the highlight of their year. Not only to see the cars and the swap meet, but the people and the memories that are made. And that's just so neat to be able to
Yep.
be that event for people.
You hit it 100% on the head. I mean, everybody here has some connection to cars and history and nostalgia, but cars and those things are a medium. I mean, there's people out here doing business, but the hardcore Iola group are here to make memories, to see friends, to have a reunion of sorts. I mean, we tell people, welcome home to Iola. That's the tagline that we run with, and it means so much to so many people because we've got people out there that have been coming, you know, their 4th generation
Yes.
attendees or campers or workers, you name it. And so we only get to do this one time a year, and especially now after not being able to do it last year, I think everybody is just not taking it for granted and really soaking it up. And we've been blessed with perfect weather, so it's a best case scenario this year.
Absolutely. I can feel that in the air. Everybody is so happy to be here, and it's evident.
Absolutely.
So this field is filling up rather rapidly. I mean, the spattering of color is just amazing.
This is one of the most picturesque spots of the show. This is the post-war show car field, so this is the best way to see it 100%. This is a group of people that are not pre-registered. They drive in the day of the event. And so it's a little bit of everything. As long as you're a classic show car, you're welcome in this field. So we'll have modified, we'll have blue ribbon cars, we'll have a little bit of everything. And we really use this as a litmus test for how busy the show is, because we don't get real-time gate numbers and attendance and food. So this is a good cross-section of how many people are here. And Thursday, we usually see how full it gets. Friday and Saturday, we look at how fast is it full and we're out of space. And I can tell you, you can see we're almost parked full right now. I think it's almost 10 in the morning. Almost an hour ago, we were completely out of modified show car space, and the crew is over moving bleachers and trying to invent some space. I'm opening to any blacktop sponsors that want to get involved for next year and these are all great problems. I've gotten calls from some of the special guests. They're stuck in traffic in town, and it's a good problem. And as long as we all share those inconveniences and enjoy what they represent, it's a great thing.
Yeah, it's growing pains.
Absolutely.
It's like this event is so big and means so much to so many people. It's going to grow, so you're going to have those hurdles that you go over.
Yep.
And on the other side of that is expansion and being able to bring more folks and more vendors, and it's just awesome.
100%. Last year when we were shut down, we had a very unique event. We knew that there would be people coming to Iola regardless. If the gates weren't barred shut, and maybe even if they were, someone's going to show up and walk on these fields. And so we took advantage of that, and we wanted to give them something special. So we called it the Rally for Iola. We had a very well thought out designated route to bring cars in and stage them, and they didn't just drive and park. They drove through the grounds and they were confronted with a lot of banners with information about what the history of the show is. So they learned, if they didn't already know, all of the organizations that receive funding as a result. We had 3,000 flags planted in the ground to represent all of the volunteers. And so they really got a treat and an education. And then they took a 60-mile road cruise to treat all of our neighboring communities to what the show represents. And I think partly as a result of that, we've got people in the campgrounds, we've got attendees that have never come to the show. Maybe they lived an hour away, and now they know about it and they're hooked. So it really was something special, and it's really been a catalyst for growth.
That's so cool that you did that. I did not realize that that took place. I bet it exposed a lot of people, and then it created somewhat of this influx. Not only people greatly happy to have life back to normal, but just coming out and going, I've got to be a part of this.
Yep. Well, you guys know what it's all about, and you know what it would mean to you to see a 2-hour car cruise go by your house.
Amazing.
I'm reminded this time of year of just how good our people are, and I'm talking about our staff as well as our volunteer workers, because we've got people that show up this year, and I have so much confidence in them to handle situations that are way beyond ordinary, and they do it seamlessly. And you know, like me, a lot of them grew up doing this, so maybe they're just a little bit seasoned, but we've got just salt of the earth givers and workers out here, and that's the fabric. And when we were looking at what are we going to do last year, not only to survive, but to give people something meaningful, as we sat in team meetings, it just was apparent there's nothing this team can't do. So there's no reason on earth that we cannot put together this cruise. There's no reason we can't surprise some people with something special, and they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. So as we look out into the field, we've got the post-war show car area behind us. And then as we pan, we're sitting right on the intersection of the swap meet and the show car space. The tower is right in the middle, and we're panning through the swap meet right now. So out there, we've got more than 4,000 swap spaces that are 10 foot by 30 foot. And I think we've got about 4,200 spaces, and we've got to be about 98% full. You can see the grounds. This is the Midwest, so there's a few hilly spots that you have to be pretty desperate to want to get in there. But this is a very, very full show. We're coming up on another intersection here, so this is really where we get into the main food stands. We've got some indoor seating. We've got the other show car space, which represents modified, so that's your rods and anything not original. We've got the theme area, which this year is the 70s, so these are pre-registered theme vehicles. On the back side of that, we've got the blue ribbon show car area, and in that building, we've got some special exhibits as well. Right in front of us, we've got a new feature. He's an alien holding a can of beer. I can tell you he's here just to see who notices. I want to see after the show just how many people look up and spot this guy. Looking down here, we're going to get into Sponsors Row. This is an area that has grown astronomically in the last 5 years. You can see a huge building here put up by a great sponsor, Toys for Trucks. They've got tons of different manufacturers in there being represented. We've got Volkswagen and Ford, Car Capsule, Continental, Greg's Speed Shop, Tremec. So many big players down here that understand the value of this crowd, and they want to be right in front of them telling them all about their products. So there really is something for everyone here. Something you can't see from here is the Campgrounds, which has absolutely through the roof numbers this year. We'll never run out of space there, but there's got to be 1,500 campsites sold. Just to put numbers to that, Iola is a town of 1,300. So we've probably got, 20 or 30 times our population in the campgrounds over these 3 days. Out here, it's maybe 100 times our population. We've got more volunteers on the books than we have people in the community. So that tells you this is not just an Iola event. We get volunteers from the surrounding 5 counties. We get volunteers that come from out of state because they appreciate it.
That is just the best. The heart is so strong here, and I'm so thankful to be here. This is awesome.
When we invite people like you, we tell them, and I'm sure you can speak to this, that you'll feel something special when you're here. And as a nonprofit, we don't pay anybody what they're worth because we can't, but generally speaking, they're happy with it, and they come back because they want to be a part of this, just like the volunteers, and that really goes a long, long way.
it's evident. It's such a wonderful thing to be a part of, and I've had so much fun cruising around, looking at all the cars. Yesterday, after we did a bunch of the live streams, I went over into the swap meet area, and it's so cool to see all those guys over there selling cool stuff. I mean, there's so much to see. And hearing all the stories of these guys coming in with their families, and
that's what it is.
there's 3 brothers that I talked to yesterday morning. Where are they? They're in one of these closest rows, and they were so funny and cute.
And every one of them has a story that goes along with it. Maybe it's a car, maybe it was a project with their dad or grandpa, maybe it's a memory they made coming to Iola. You really can't even see it all in 3 days. I don't know if you've had a chance to get to the car corral, but there's probably 500 for sale cars over there. It's literally something for everybody. Kids are free. It's one of the most affordable events to come to. And again, when people come here, they know their money is going to many great causes. So it's really not big business. This is a small budget, big small town event, and it is really one of a kind on the planet.
And that's one of the reasons you guys pull so many volunteers, is because they benefit from what you guys do here. You guys are literally giving them money to be able to do what they're doing, and they show their appreciation by coming and volunteering.
That's right. Since the 80s, when we incorporated as a nonprofit, we've given back more than $8.5 million. So you look at our Lions Club, for example, it's one of the smaller Lions Clubs communities in the state. It's one of the best funded Lions Clubs in the state. And we've got a bunch of those organizations, but they're a great example of, they come here, they're an absolute workforce. They help us in so many ways, and they turn that work into dollars, and then they pay those dollars forward in scholarships and Lions camps for disabled children and underprivileged. So that's just one of many, many examples that exist out here in these fields.
The whole pay it forward thing is very strong here, and there's so much passion behind it, and it's very different. It's just a different feeling than any other car show, and it's awesome.
We appreciate that, and it's hard to come here and not feel it.
Absolutely. It's so awesome. So glad to expose you guys to it, and even if you're here and you're enjoying, we're so glad you're here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're doing a great job this weekend.
Hello, sir.
And I know more people out there are going to see this thanks to the work you're doing. So I just want to tell you how much we appreciate your efforts, the production team's efforts. These guys are top notch, and they really are exposing us to a crowd maybe further away, maybe that can't get here this year for whatever reason. But there's just more than you can take in, even in person. So we're giving you some great highlights of the show from another perspective.
Well, I'm honored to be doing what I'm doing, so thank you for having me.
You got it.
And if you're not here and you want to be, put it on your bucket list and make it happen, because this is worthwhile for sure.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Awesome.
Gartlett's Dragster is what it is.
Can you hear Don Gartlett's Dragster? The funny car is running. The cackle is happening. It's so awesome. There's a crowd of people over there every morning ready for this to happen. Once he shuts off, what happens?
Well, Don Gartlett's fires up, and that's kind of a dinner bell effect because about 5,000 people just appear. As soon as that's done, we're going to announce that we're doing the national anthem, and that is a cool moment on the grounds. You're going to see what a few to 100,000 people looks like at attention suddenly honoring the flag. It's a beautiful thing.
It absolutely is. Yesterday morning, it was mesmerizing to watch from up here.
Yep.
I love the sound of a funny car. Like, oh, yeah. I can feel it in my chest even without being that close because it's such a great feeling.
As soon as it fires up from an aerial view, you just see everybody start moving that way.
That would be an awesome drone shot to get at some point. Oh, I love it. Yep.
He's shutting down now.
It's so cool to see all the folks walking around right now, going on along their merry way. And then once the national anthem starts, frozen. Hands over hearts.
We'd like to take a moment to
Here
honor
we go.
all those who have served our great nation in the armed forces and all the family members of those who served as well. The freedom we enjoy and events like this would not be possible without the selfless service of our veterans, past and present. Please join us in a moment of silence before the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, that's just the best. That is just the best. Oh, such a neat thing to witness from up here. I mean, as far as the eye can see, just people frozen, hand over their heart. It makes me emotional. It's so special. We all come together on that. And cars. And cars. We'll see you guys soon for more coverage of the Iola Car Show 2021. It's amazing. So glad to be here.